Hello, Internet! I'm HamsterBomb.
And I'm Zach.
And this is HITBOX. This is the gaming podcast show where we talk about all sorts of video game stuff that we feel like talking about. And now that you are at our mercy of whatever we feel like talking about,
Indeed,
we feel like talking about literally everything. So we're going to start from one of the beginnings. We're not going to say the beginning because video games obviously have been around before where we're going to be covering today, but a beginning, a very solid beginning. How about this? A clean resurgence of video games becoming what we know them as today after the crash of '83. And a very important thing happened in '85, which is one of the first, probably the biggest, initial home video game console, and that is the NES. Yep. And we're going to be talking about a lot of games today that cover this year. So 1985. We're going to go through a lot of games, not just from the NES. We got a couple arcade games, some PC games we're going to talk about in here. And in the meantime, I'm going to be playing some of these games on an NES Classic Edition.
Yeah.
And some games are not supposed to be on there, but don't tell Nintendo I put them on there anyway, because they should have been. But
it is a secret for everybody.
Yeah, so, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened in '85, and especially just for people to understand games before this point, what the crash really meant was the market got flooded. There were so many consoles, there were so many games, and they were so low quality, and they were so expensive, and it just caused a big bubble, and the market just crashed. It plummeted. Games were worthless. So all of a sudden, having like a quality system, which the Nintendo Entertainment System was designed to look like a computer and kind of be like pretend to be a computer. In Japan, it is the family computer, the Famicom.
Yep.
That's what they were going for. So when it just had, video games on it of real quality, like it snuck its way into your room, and tricked families into going, oh, this is actually really cool. And probably the first game that really got people was a certain launch title that we're going to be playing right now for a little bit.
Yes,
and it is Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
I love this game.
I know you do.
I love this game.
For anyone who's watched the Mario tier list, he went on for a while about this one.
I did, yeah. And just in case you haven't, this is my first ever video game in general. So, now I didn't play it on the NES first. I did, you know what? No, I did not play it on NES first. I actually played it on the Game Boy Color.
Yep.
I did eventually play it on NES. I found it was really weird that my neighbors were playing my Game Boy game on their TV, but hey, whatever. I mean, if you get to play my Game Boy game on the TV, that's awesome. But
yeah,
we might talk about like hardware later, because Game Boy games on the TV was a cool enough thing that did happen.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, just in general, what this game means and why it's so important is you got to understand, like I said, like the quality level of what was going on at the time. I don't want to put down games that came before this, because there's so many that were still great, and we were even talking about before this. We might do an episode where we just say everything pre-1985.
Yes.
But after this point, we might even do episodes that are just, not even going in order. We might jump around, though. I kind of like the idea of just staying, in order, because that way we really get to spend our time and analyzing the history of this, which is what I think makes this era of games so interesting. And I'm going to do my best to commentate. I'm kind of live playing Super Mario Brothers right now if you're just listening to this, so I'm going to do my best. Also, we have plenty of other games to talk about, too.
Oh,
but,
yes.
I'm just kind of like at least giving you guys the ground rule concept of what this is.
Right, it's probably going to change a little over time as we get used to this. How we do this.
And obviously we can't cover every single game that's going to be noteworthy in every single year. We're going to do our best to talk about at least our favorites and some that we think are very noteworthy and important. And how could we ignore 1985 without talking about Super Mario Brothers?
Right.
And I did review this game, so if you want to hear like exactly why this one is so great and such a big deal, not just for me, but for just players in general. That was close.
There you go.
Sorry, I had a butt clencher right there.
I was going to say, platformers existed way before this game did.
Right. This, I think, really perfected the genre.
Right, and it really shaped what we know about platformers today, because a lot of platformers, in arcade especially, you couldn't jump on the enemies. Enemies were basically
a hitbox, yes. And not just that, I mean, the music in this game was great, the colors and the animations in this were great. It's a lot of things. And also, you know, probably the most important thing, this was in people's homes, because they got it either bundled with the Nintendo Entertainment System. In another game, we kind of have a list of stuff, not going in particular order, by the way. No. This is a laid-back kind of thing we want to do, but this game was bundled for a lot of people with Duck Hunt.
Yep.
Which the NES Duck Hunt did come out in '85, of course, because it was bundled with it. But Duck Hunt, the game itself, did exist before this point. So,
I was expecting you to go for some speedrun strats there.
You want me to clip through the wall? No, I have never tried any of that nonsense in Super Mario Bros. But anyway, so, yeah, Duck Hunt, it existed before this. Kim actually played it on Atari. I've never actually seen Duck Hunt for Atari.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a thing, and, but yes, most people played it with, the combo with the NES Zapper, for the NES, which is a really cool, game.
Oh, yeah.
In and of itself. I mean, Super Mario Brothers is something that, just in the addictive arcade fashion, and it's so simple, and honestly, just in terms of game design, that first... Look what the heck I'm doing. I'm going to World 8 right now. So
we gotta hurry up and talk about this.
I know, the design of the first level of Super Mario Brothers is so great of, like, kind of teaching you how to play games.
Yep.
And even teaching players who don't know how to play this, how to play games. And there's so many subtleties to that. It's just brilliant. And a lot of games back then were more about being brutal or just painfully simple and you're done with it in a moment. And this was a game that people could really play for hours and get really great at, and that's, I think, why they loved it so much.
No, I agree.
Super Mario Brothers, because, I mean, Duck Hunt, let's be honest, is, well, NES Duck Hunt is really just a, hey, you know, this is kind of neat. I can aim this little gun at the screen, and the TV gets it. Like, that's so cool, and it is.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean...
And again, not the first, you know, light gun to be introduced at the home, but still, I mean, it's one that, you know, instantly iconic, easily recognizable, and had a lot of fun little games that you could actually play with it. Use it with.
Woo! Woo! I'm doing my best here to not...
You're doing good, buddy.
Keep talking, you're fine.
No, like I said, I loved this game, especially, like you said, I first played it on the Game Boy Color, this Super Mario Brothers Deluxe version. And, again,
Really? Okay.
So it was one of those ones where it's like, you know, I didn't care what it looked like at the time. Like, yeah, I get to play... Mario.
I think the graphics are fine. I mean, I picked on them in my video, but there's some bits where I think it really did deserve it. Oh my god, I forgot how short time frame you have for this level.
That's okay, Falls.
Sorry, I'm still...
No, you're fine.
This is like...
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of this really changed platformers, you know? It's like, it taught you, hey, you can jump on enemies. It's not just a hitbox. You won't just immediately die. It added, like, there you go. All right.
Am I gonna... What did I say in my video? Like, I haven't beaten Super Mario Brothers since I was actually, since that video. That was the very first time I ever beat Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, wow.
If I beat it while I'm, like, chatting randomly, I am gonna scream. Okay, hold on. There's a safe spot to stand. It's not here! Ah!
That's okay. Just let him go.
Okay, so anyway, this is not a Let's Play. This is a podcast conversation.
Okay, yeah. No. Okay, go. Just run. Just go. Get out of there.
Zach, we need to talk.
I know. I'm trying. So again, like I said, it sets so many.
I missed the one up too. Oh. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, it's just such an important and fun game. Clearly, like, we're playing this in 2021, and
yes,
I still have so much fun with this game.
No, me.
Not that the other games on this list aren't fun, but holy crap! I mean, there's just so much to this. There's a reason that it was so popular.
Yeah.
Aside from it being in people's homes and accessible.
In people's homes, it's accessible, it's easy to learn and to play. There's only 2 buttons that you have to worry about.
Basically, yeah. And the one that you never let go of. Oh my god, I just barely made a jump.
Yeah. You did good.
Yes.
But no, yeah, see, and it's so hard to talk when you're just
playing
such a fun game. Oh.
I made my first death. I tripped in a hole.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is hard to talk. So how about this? If we move on our list of stuff that we have to talk about, because there's a lot of games we want to talk about. We could talk about Super Mario Brothers all day if you let us.
Yeah.
Woo! That's the spot I try and stand in there.
That's all right.
And the next one on here is actually something I can't play for you guys right now.
No, but yes, the next game that we'd like to talk about is Oregon Trail.
Yes! A really...
An odd game.
Yeah, but everybody our age knows this game.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, I remember back in kindergarten... Oh... Because, see, I was going to say, back in elementary school and kindergarten, we used to have Apple IIs, or we used to have really old computers, and this is back in, like, the early 90s, and it had a monochrome, like, orange phosphorus screen.
Oh, so Oregon Trail just made sense.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's an educational game.
Yeah, we should explain what Oregon Trail is.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people probably don't even know what that is.
So for the Oregon Trail, it's an educational game where it simulates the trek across the United States in the mid-1800s from the East Coast to the West Coast to get to Oregon.
Yes.
And so the whole point of the game is, you make your family or a group of friends or whoever you want, because everything is customizable in that regard. You name them, you decide what your background is.
You die of dysentery.
You can die of dysentery, yeah. You choose what supplies you can take with you. And so...
Yeah, it's a
survival game almost. Like that, like again. You survived that jump.
Barely.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's like a survival game on top of being an educational game.
It is, yeah. And that's why I think what was so successful about it, like, because educational games, even now, just seem so lame. Oh my god, am I gonna beat it?
Yes, you are.
With no power-up, here we go, 8-3.
You can do it, dude.
I've never beaten this game, I feel like, in one solid run like that. It just took me so many freaking tries.
Hey, you just might, who knows?
Yeah, my first try, then we'll see.
But...
Oregon Trail.
Right, Oregon Trail.
Freaking Hammer Brothers. I'm gonna scream while you do this.
And the other thing, too, that I liked about it was that it actually showed you various locations which would have been iconic on the trail to get to Oregon.
Yeah.
So, you had all these different forts, these mountains. You could stop to hunt.
Right.
And that was one of the things I remember a lot of people just going and just doing randomly, just going into the hunting minigame and just slaughtering everything.
Yeah.
But then again...
Which is fine, but
Which is fine, but it's also educational in the fact that it did show you, a lot of people who were going to, going through the plain states were just... Oh, gosh. We're doing like this. Yes. They were just killing everything and leaving so much meat behind.
I'm on my last life, by the way. For those of you listening.
I believe in you.
Okay. I'm dealing with Hammer Brothers on 8-3. This, by the way, I don't want to interject, but this level was my bane, and it was why I had so many problems. So many problems as a kid.
Just wait them out, dude.
There is no waiting them out.
Yes, you can.
That's my window! Okay, I can... Sorry,
No.
That's it. Okay, so, yeah. Oregon Trail,
Yes.
what was... Basically, it was kind of setting you up for failure.
Yes.
And that was the idea. You were supposed to learn that this was a dangerous route that your ancestors have gone through to get to.
Right.
Right. And it was a story to try and teach you stuff about history, which in itself is normally a horrible premise for a video game.
Yeah.
Yet it stuck with people.
Right.
And it was really cool. Maybe it was the fact that you name your characters and you start, and it was one of those early ones that it explains how they die. Not like was knocked out and came back at the Pokemon Center kind of like you're fine.
Right.
They show their tombstone. They're dead.
Yeah.
And you notice people name their family members. It's like name your family, right? And,
Yeah.
these are my brothers, my mom.
Dad.
Who's your mom? Who's your dad? Who's your brother? Your sister?
Yep.
And they die.
And it's just little Jimmy driving the cart.
Right, and you gotta fight for your survival. You gotta figure out how do I survive this, and it was really cool.
You know what else I think?
Of course, I'm never gonna go back and play that game though.
I've gone back and played it.
You have?
Yeah,
Really?
I like it.
Have any of you guys who've actually grown up and known Oregon Trail gone back to play Oregon Trail? I'm gonna go back to the NES library by the way and pull up the next game we're gonna talk about as Zach closes out Oregon Trail.
But yeah, no, like I said, it also adds some fun randomness to it, which really, it's just like life. Random stuff happens to just really mess up your day. But again, it does all serve a purpose, and it may not be the most in terms of trying to get kids to know about history, but it does an awful lot to leave an impression and make you interested in that time period, I think.
Definitely.
And that was the thing I think it did best. But
Yes.
now we move on to another good game, Gradius.
Another good game.
Yes, another good game.
We are not even gonna be doing our good
Our good.
No syntax will ever happen in these. No editing. This is just off the cuff.
Yes, all off the cuff, except for this list that we've got.
Right,
Gradius or Gradius, however you say it.
Yeah, how should one say it?
I say Gradius.
Is this one of those where if you touch any of the environment parts, you also die too?
You can try.
I don't want to.
No, that's
this
good.
This is a hard game.
Yep.
What really kicked my butt was how slow you move in this one compared to
Yes.
other space shooters. Oh god, that was close.
Ooh, there you go. That's some pro moves right there. There you go.
Anyway, yeah, we're
yes,
if you don't,
yes,
the Konami space shooter side scroller.
Yes.
And now here's the thing. This is kind of like a lost genre.
Yeah,
nobody makes games. Yeah, nobody makes these games anymore. There was
outside of the indie scene.
Well, here, right, and I say that because there were, God,
metric tons.
Yes. How do you describe how many? It was almost like people thought that this was video game.
From Space Invaders up until like what?
Right,
the early 2000s?
It was right, and it was all like, how do we take the same idea and we just change the perspective of it, which was, you know, the asteroids to Space Invaders to Gradius, Galaga. You know, there's so many of the. I would have been hit. That looks like it was in the foreground.
Yeah.
Oh, good checkpoints. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So yeah, this is
Yeah. So one of the
it
things.
gets. Dang, that sucked.
You concentrate. I can talk a little.
Sure,
bit.
go ahead. You talk about Gradius.
So you know, again,
I will entertain them.
It's a dime a dozen. You know, the side-scrolling space shooter back in the day. But the thing that I really like about the Gradius series is if for those who are watching, above the score there's a little bar. What he's on right now is missiles, which would really help if he wanted to take that, but he should have gone for the speed up first. That would have helped.
Please explain it to me. I've actually not played this one so much.
So what happens is every time those little orbs that you get from those enemies that drop moves it up.
I see. So
when you hit speed up, see how you move a little bit faster?
Oh, I see.
It customizes your ship as you keep killing things.
Ah, okay.
So yeah,
that explains why it was going so slow. Yeah, that's why I died so much when I played this.
Now
it's
when
great.
you go up,
I see. Now I have missiles.
Hit start and get
now
missiles,
I've got missiles.
Now you can hit the ground enemies.
Awesome.
And see in action right here, you can see
that's
why
making
this series caught on.
That is very cool. So, you know what? It reminds me of a game that I feel like is never going to come up.
Okay.
But I'll talk about it here. And it is a game that I played on my, what was it, TI-50 graphing calculator. I don't know what number it was, but whatever it was at the time.
TI-83 or something.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah. So this is this game, and of course, yet another space shooter. But the thing is, it was basically going from the bottom of the screen up to the top. Now, of course, it's a calculator. There's not a lot of room.
Yeah.
But what I thought was so addicting about this game, which is basically what you're revealing about Gradius, what I'd been missing this whole time, of like the core part of the gameplay. Clearly, we're not editing this.
That's fine.
Is the fact that when you defeat enemies in this game, little dollar signs can appear, and you can collect money. And when you collect money after you beat a boss of that level, you basically go to a shop and you can choose how you want to upgrade yourself.
That's really cool.
It was so cool because now you've got like different. You want to play really aggressively or really tanky? You want to upgrade your health to make it to the next one? Like, what do you invest in to beat the next level? And this is similar to how it's functioning, which is it's still really cool. I really like it. And in fact, I'm going to play with this a little bit longer while we talk about the next couple games on here. But yeah, I really think this style of game, it's kind of sad that it's kind of vanished. Though at the same time, there's not. Wow. There's not much I died really early. There's not much, honestly, that you can do with these anymore.
No.
There are a lot of good ones. I'm going to try and save and get another ability. Here we go. Double shot. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can get options, and you can get a front-facing shield as well later on down the tree.
All right,
so anyway, but yeah, the next game I think we should talk about would be Commando. And I'm not talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Or just going around in your underwear.
No. Well, but, you know. Yes, what he said.
Okay.
So,
oh, that was close.
Whew, there you go.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, now we're talking firepower.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I just got, oh, so you can get multiple speed ups.
Yes, you can. You can just keep speeding up until you're just basically a speeding death machine.
Until you die.
Yes, until you die. So Commando. It's another one of those scrolling shoot 'em ups. Think something like Contra, but instead of like going left to right, or however it is on screen, you're going down up. It's a vertical
Contra actually changes direction too. We'll talk about Contra eventually when we get to that year, but as of right now, we're just talking 85.
Yeah, so this is around the time of like the real beefy men action movies that
really,
it just blow everybody up. Doesn't matter, no consequences. And what the whole point of the game is that you're a single man.
Dang it!
Oh,
I tried to get the laser and I got greedy. And yeah, when you die, it goes all the way back to this.
Yes,
I'll take the speed.
So you are a one-man army sent in to infiltrate another army and basically just mow down every single dude possible.
Very similar to Akari Warriors,
which came out a year or so earlier.
Correction, Akari Warriors actually came out in 1986, making Commando the first. Right, but for some reason, so many people played Akari Warriors, but that game is so bad.
No, Capcom...
Well, I don't want to, like, call games bad, but I mean, like...
Compared to Commando.
Yeah,
Capcom, rather, did a phenomenal job with that game, I think. It's not the best game in the world, but it's a heck of a lot of fun and indicative of the time of which it was made, which I really wholeheartedly appreciate from it. It's just a fun action game. That's the big thing I want people to get out of it. If you haven't tried it or a game similar to it, I'd say give it a shot. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Definitely worth talking about on here. Man, I got another game over. But yeah, even if you were watching what I was doing while he was talking, I was trying totally different tactics each time I died with different abilities. And yeah, I can see this being a really great one, especially with, I'm not positive if this was an NES launch title, Gradius, but...
No, it was arcade originally, and it said 86 is when we would have got it.
NES.
Yes.
But, okay, so technically what I'm playing is an 86 game.
Yeah, but...
and there's a lot of other games that we were going to talk about like that, too, but just, like, for example, Ghosts and Goblins is one.
Yeah.
But we really want to talk about specifically the NES one, because that's what most people were playing. And, But anyway, yeah, so if we were to move on, you've actually got one more computer game.
Yes.
In the meantime, because we'll probably talk about it for a while, I'm going to start playing what we're going to talk about after that.
Well, here, actually, why don't we just move ahead and talk about the next game while you're playing it, and I can talk about that while you're playing it.
Okay.
Because we've got the other game on the list.
Let's do that. I'm going to jump let's go to this one. And that is Excitebike. And very quickly, allow me to jump in here for a moment and point out that, yes, Excitebike down here at the bottom is showing you that it has released in 1984. However, that was for the Famicom system and not for the NES. It took another year for it to come out for the NES. And a lot of other games are going to be like this as we go through this series in the future. So keep that in mind when it comes out in the US, or rather, basically outside of Japan, is when we're going to consider its actual release date.
This is a good game.
Definitely a launch NES game, correct?
1985, yep, in the States, yep.
All right.
Again, like I said, this is a good game.
It is, yeah. I got to remember how to play it as soon as we...
You excel... Well,
yeah,
you accelerate.
I got that much, yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, as you're seeing, it's... I think this is one of those...
It's
I
one of
want
those,
to say it was like a tech demo-y kind of game.
Yeah, it's almost like a
NES.
physics kind of thing, which you would not expect out of the NES, but it totally is.
Right.
Because like you can see right there, if you screw up your landings, because you control the...
Excitebike, dude.
Well, yes,
that's
but
what I call them.
What I meant to say was you control what parts of your bike land.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's the physics of it. And it's really interesting because if you screw up, you fall, and if you fall, you waste time, which means if you're racing someone else, you're gonna get left behind.
Right.
And yeah, your times are bad because it's all about times, how fast you can get there. So yeah, there's a lot to this very simple, like basic. I would say seemingly simple game.
Right.
You can even design your own courses in this game.
Yeah, and like I said, that's where I was going with this, is like a very tech demo-y kind of thing, showing off what the NES was capable of.
Yes.
Because honestly, what else do you really know that was around this time or even before that scrolled this smoothly?
Yeah, and this quickly too. Yeah,
this quickly, that smoothly. Yeah, and as you guys can see, for those who are watching, you placed.
Woo!
There you go. Now it's a new record.
New record. Well, I'm trying the next track.
Yeah. But for those of you who are watching, or those who may be listening, this is a racing game. It's one of those beat the clock, this mode that he's playing. So in order to play...
there's two-player stuff and other things I could be doing, but just for the sake of...
Right.
This is basically the basic gameplay.
Yeah, so again, it's one of those beat the clock things, or you can race other people. And again, like you said, it's very much like one of those dirt bike kind of games.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where you're trying to control how you land, where you land, trying to avoid obstacles like the mud and all that.
It's another thing that I feel like, I don't want to be like kids these days, but...
Back in my day!
Well, the thing is, we kind of take for granted a lot of game developments, and this loses a lot of its charm because of the age of not really understanding like what you didn't have back then, which is why I feel like it's really interesting in general to make an episode series like we are doing right now, where we just say, hey, it is 1985, what can we play? And what exists back then? And so we're kind of starting from square one again, if we're going back to the beginning of this, with an NES and what can we do with it. And this is crazy. You know, there's so much action on screen here.
Right, and like you even had PC games from before this that couldn't even scroll this well. It was so choppy, or it was screen by screen.
And I believe there's a little bit of added physics to this if you can flick the back of your wheel with ramps to go extra far.
I think you can actually pull wheelies. Yep.
Well, that's
the
ending.
Screen,
Yeah, bad timing, visual thing. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot to Excitebike. I promise you, there's so much more to this.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, of course, like at the time, sure, it was really cool, but what is it now? No, like this is actually like a fun game.
Oh yeah, no, I'd probably think like at least maybe an hour or so. I'd like to take a break from like a big story game or something. This would be a lot of fun. But anything else you want to add, or
you know, I guess not really. Yeah, it's
okay.
Woo!
Because the next game I want to talk about.
I'm just gonna keep doing mad hops while you
get that sick air, bro.
Woo!
But the next game I want to talk about.
Yeah, you can see me screwing up some ramps and then getting some correctly if you guys are watching this. But yeah, the next one we wanted to say was another PC game, correct?
Yes, it's another PC game. One actually in a once very prestigious series. Ultima 4 Quest of the Avatar.
I'm tumbling all the way down a giant hill.
Oh, I know.
I messed my landing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang it. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. Right. If you went like A B or something like that, you would actually run back faster to your bike.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Yes.
I just now remember that. See,
oh yeah.
It's because I'm not falling.
No, do it. Oh, yep.
There we go. Yeah, you do go faster. All right.
So anyway, the Ultima Series was a series of computer role-playing games made by a guy named Richard Garriott, or Lord British.
Oh.
And again, this is the fourth one in the series, and what I really appreciate about this one is that it adds a morality system to RPGs back in '85. Morality was a thing in a lot of RPGs, but it was like one of those sort of, you pick one and done, and it has no bearing on what you do. But everything you do in this game has a consequence. If you run away from too many monsters, you have a courage stat. If you run away,
I love that.
If you run away too much, your courage stat goes down.
That's so cool.
If you steal from others, or if you fight unprovoked, you're seen more and more as a villain. And you know
that's really cool.
Yes,
because that game. Right. It was coming up so fast. I hit something in Excitebike.
That's fine.
That game is also like very surprisingly good for how it looks.
Again, it's working under the constraints of, I believe, the Apple II at the time.
Yes.
Which is an old PC. Even for the time, I think it was not really outdated. It was still pretty cutting edge, but still, regardless. But yeah, so
it's more of like the programming of what's going on in there that makes it so impressive.
Yes,
because there's a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, and it's the design.
It's just B.
Yeah, it's just B. But there's the design, because this is one of those games too, for those not in the know, that was used as a frame of reference when creating the Dragon Quest series.
Which somebody likes and just wanted to talk about Dragon Quest. You will get your day.
I know. No, but
sorry, I'm
yeah, that's fine.
Having a time.
You might not even place this time.
I may not.
Anyway.
It's okay.
But yeah, so again, there's an overworld to explore, and it keeps track of so much of what you do. And there's still an overarching story, but the whole goal of the game is to become known as the Avatar Virtue. Basically being a sort of like a messianic kind of character for this world. And it really wants you to think about how you develop that character and what you do and say to people. Granted, you're working in the constraints of an 8-bit computer, but still, for 1985, that's really cool. And
I did, didn't I?
15.
No, 15 no.
Oh, game over.
Game over. All right. Well, it's fine. We got other stuff.
So yeah, it just serves as a groundwork for a lot of future RPGs, which I really enjoyed. But speaking of other games now that we can show off.
Yes. Give me a moment here. I've got to go into my extra stuff that I had to put on here because Nintendo didn't want to put the rest of the library.
The next game we want to talk about.
Yeah. So very similar to Excitebike, except in a completely different perspective.
Right.
Which actually, I'm realizing how well this is going to bleed into the next game we're going to talk about in order.
Yep.
Going towards the screen using the Z-axis, basically similar to Excitebike, and from my understanding, this game we're looking at here is actually the predecessor of what would become F-Zero.
I think so, yeah, if what I remember is correct. So for those not watching, This is one of those race away from the screen games where it's like, it uses a lot of scaling technology to simulate where you are on the course. And the thing I like about this, if you paid attention to the lore at the beginning, it's the far future, things are terrible, and you gotta get to the city. But there's a bunch of gangs out there that want you dead, and they are going to stop you.
Yeah, it's an interesting... Whoa!
Yeah, ooh.
Oh, God.
It is one of the... And it's also...
I'm going so fast.
Yeah, it's a combat racer, too, which I find really fun.
I know, that's so strange. Like, it could have just been about... you know, just racing towards the screen, which back in '85 was cool enough to do at home.
Yes.
And its effects are clunky.
Right.
But of course, it's simulating 3D.
Yeah, the arcades
on the
obviously
NES
did this better. Yeah, but to have this at home at the very least, yeah.
And I love that explosion effect when you die and get put back together. One thing that always bothered me about this game, though, like really bothered me,
I think you might be dead.
It's this. It's when someone comes from behind and hits you. Yeah. It's because I never look at my rearview mirror.
Yeah.
You know, I never think to do that in this game. But yeah, it's still really cool. You know what this is. I wish we had like a modern Mach Rider. This will probably never happen because this is a Nintendo-owned game that I had to mod on my NES Classic.
I know.
If you want any proof that they don't care about this game, that's it right there. They don't care about Mach Rider.
Well,
which, I mean,
it's
got a track. Yeah, it's got a spirit and a music track, a really good music track remix in Smash Brothers. But other than that, this poor game.
Oh, I know. This really could have been so much more, I feel, but again,
if you remember, during the Grinch leaks, I was even watching my rear view and I still got hit.
Yeah,
if you remember the Grinch leak time for Smash Brothers Ultimate theorizing, Mach Rider was on that list of characters supposedly coming to the game.
Ooh, dang.
I even saw him coming, but there's so many obstacles in this game, it's insane. Like, I am so bad at this game, but I still love this game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because of how innovative it is with the... I swear they just attack you. They hone in on you, but...
Yeah. But again, you know, like I said, it's a combat racer, which I feel, you know, we got with certain kart racers, which added a combat elements like Mario Kart in the future.
Yeah, and I'm already dead again. It's so hard.
It's brutal.
It is so hard. Let's try another course while
Yeah, but the other thing I was also thinking of was Twisted Metal, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of Twisted Metal, slightly in a way. You know, as a car combat game, but...
Oh, so yeah, there are other modes too. So now the one I'm playing right now, I believe, has no racers on it, and it's just like get to the end fast enough, and obviously don't wreck into anything.
Right.
So there's other, like, just because it's brutal, the main mode, you can still, like, practice.
Are you in low gear or high? Now you're in high gear. There we go.
You do it with the D-pad.
Okay, that's right.
It's just...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whee!
You freaking scream in this game. Like, it goes so fast, it's insane. And I'm not even going as fast as I can go right now.
No, it's...
I was trying to get used to it before I kicked it in gear, because I know how fast it goes.
And once you get far enough into the game, yeah, I think the course actually changes up, yeah. Like, I think the background changes and everything. You can see yourself getting closer and closer to your goal.
Right.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what else to say about
this. That's really about it. It's really cool, and what makes it more of a shame is the fact that Nintendo pretends it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But what I was saying before, in the same vein of this, is another game that we can talk about next on our list, which is Space Harrier.
Space Harrier.
Think about, now we're talking about the arcade. We're not talking about a home console Genesis port?
No, I don't think...
Was that the first home console of Space Harrier?
Space Harrier 2 actually came out on the Genesis in '89. We didn't even get the original until later, I believe. Much later. The end.
Did I make it?
No. You didn't.
I don't know. Or... I don't know. I have no idea what I did. Okay, we're talking about Space Harrier. I'm going to try Endurance Course in Mach Rider while he talks about that, because obviously it's an arcade thing. It's not an NES game.
Right, so it was made by Sega, and this was again at I would argue probably the peak, one of the peaks of their arcade influence, where you play as a guy with a laser gun, and very much like what's going on in Mach Rider, running away from the screen, you're flying away from the screen and facing oncoming enemies.
However,
that are coming towards you.
From what I understand of Space Harrier, it doesn't have what I would consider to be the most frustrating part of Mach Rider, which is people coming from behind you.
Correct, yeah. Everything is just flying straight towards you. The thing I really enjoyed about the game is just the design, how it's so fantastical. Like, it doesn't care. Like, all different manner of ideas are just thrown at the wall and just to see what sticks. What killed you?
A guy from behind me. I am trying so hard to dodge stuff from behind me.
I believe you, but that's just nuts. But anyway, so you've got fantasy
Here, I
creatures.
killed some guy by going a million miles an hour.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, ran into a barrel.
Oh, okay.
See, like, once it gets going, this game is really fun. But, God, is it hard.
Right. But so, like I said, you've got science fiction elements, you're fighting robots, you've got fantasy elements, there's, like, dragons and stuff you can fight. It's again, another one of those technically very impressive games.
Yes, but doesn't play very well. Well, I don't want to be that mean.
It's a one-hit kill thing. And
that's the thing. It's one of those, if you got hit, it's over. Yeah, that was close.
Yeah.
But... Oh, come on, go.
The end. Again.
Whatever that means. The end.
But it was one of those ones that really showed that video games were really coming forward technologically, I feel. And it's still fun. It's fun to look at. It's fun to play. If you guys have access to Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection, that was on like PS3, Xbox 360, or whatever, give it a go. I'd say it's well worth your time. But moving on from that,
and actually the next few that we have on here are actually we have another PC and an arcade one. So in the meantime, I'm gonna jump to the next game, home console game we have, and it's actually on here that I can play for you.
Yes.
And I hate this game.
I know.
But I'm gonna play it for you.
I still felt we needed to at least talk about it.
And I had to even correct Zach on this. See, the game is called Ice Climber, not Ice Climbers.
Melee is ruined me.
Yeah,
for this
Super
game.
Smash Brothers popularized this game, which is great. I mean, I love that Smash Brothers introduces people into new games. However, and by the way, I am a huge advocate for the Ice Climbers in Smash Brothers. They are my main in Melee. I love the Ice Climbers. However, I hate this game.
Well, what I like about it is that it's kind of like a different take on like the Donkey Kong formula, where it's like you're constantly climbing up and up to get to the goal of saving Nana, right?
Well, Nana would be your player 2.
Okay, I see.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, that's okay.
I hit the bird.
Get
So what I hate about this game is the controls just are horrible. As in the jumps are just so... In a game all about jumping, you can't like correct your jump once you go, which is a very NES thing.
Yeah, it reminds me of Castlevania in that regard, but at least it was designed around that.
However, you can see
jump.
if you're watching it, I kind of clip through stuff when I jump, and it's just so uncomfortable. Once you get high enough, you go to a bonus stage where your goal is to collect some eggplants before time runs out, and get to the top and try and get to the condor.
Yep. Again,
it's fine.
There wasn't a lot of games again
that were how bad this freaking.
I know.
Oh my god! I just want to scream.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Just talk about the game.
Again, it's just one of those. It was another one of those launch titles or very close to launch titles for the NES.
Yeah.
Do you need a neck rub or something?
It's fine. I'm only on the first level.
I know. Almost. But
I
again,
didn't die, but still.
No, you didn't die. That was good.
No bonus. Though. Yeah, I didn't get to the top. All right, so yeah, essentially, yeah, it's all about climbing to the top and collecting stuff, getting points. And here's the real thing about Ice Climber that I am currently underselling is it was designed to be played with multiple people.
Right, but we don't have a second controller, unfortunately.
Right, yeah, a huge problem with the NES Classic. However, it's still not a great two-player game. If you ask me, it's just like you can actually sabotage your partner, and you need to work together. Right. But at the same time, you're competing for points.
Ooh.
Yeah. See, I'm dead there. I just got hit.
Yeah. Again, I still think it was a good addition to the NES library.
Yeah, it really reminds me of more of Mario Brothers.
Right.
Than it does Donkey Kong. Mario Brothers, if you guys aren't familiar, is the name of the arcade game
The original.
Which came out before Super Mario Brothers. You can see where that's coming from.
Yep.
And actually, just because it's a pre-85 game, and we might not talk about it really briefly, I actually played a lot of that game.
I did too. Did you play the Game Boy Advance version?
Yes, which came with Super Mario World.
It came with all the Super Mario Advance games.
Did it? Okay,
yes.
Really? Because, you know what? Maybe I played it with Yoshi's Island? I don't know, but I played a lot of it, I can tell you that.
So the thing I actually really loved about Super Mario Brothers, the original, not Super Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers, was that it's just very easy. Ooh, yeah. Single screen action. The thing that always throws me for a loop, even back then, was that you couldn't jump on anything, because I was so used to Super Mario Brothers. And that you, in the Game Boy Advance remakes, ooh, yeah. They actually modded, or they changed the sprites on the Koopas. They turned them into Spinies. Because they were Koopas in the original arcade version.
I remember now.
Yeah, because kids were constantly jumping on them, and it's like nothing was happening. And it's like, why? Why doth this happen? And so Nintendo's like, oh no, we got to change stuff. No, but like I said, it was again just a really solid game, and just one that I'm just really happy exists. Ooh, gosh!
I forgot those are conveyors. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't realize that myself. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just glad I got to experience them, especially because for those who didn't have them, a Game Boy Advance or weren't around back then, the Super Mario Advance series was a series of games where it was just ports of a bunch of older Mario ports. Older Mario titles.
Dang it. I think I even made jokes about...
Yeah, like the Game Boy Advance did not have an original Mario title, if you think about it. Like an original platform title, rather.
Right. I guess it didn't.
Which is... so weird, because I thought, well, the Game Boy Advance, I guess, wasn't the best thing for Nintendo. I don't know. I still love that system so much.
I do as well, but we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves now if we pull that up. So, actually, we got several other games we want to talk about before we close out 85.
Which one did we want to think about here?
Yeah, we can just go in order that we have on here. The real problem is that these games at this point, we pretty much don't have any of them on my NES Classic.
What
am I supposed to do?
You gotta
be so fast. No! I can't actually have fun with Ice Climber. We're gonna swap. So actually, for the remainder of this, if you're watching this, I'm gonna jump back to Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah. And like Super Mario Brothers 3, maybe.
No, Super Mario Brothers. This is 1985.
Okay. That's
By the way, we'll make the joke when we get there, because we've already talked about Duck Hunt.
Yes.
You might have seen, if you were watching this, I have it on my NES library, and it's only because we just, before making this video, thought it was funny to try and put it on there and see what would happen. Obviously, nothing happens. It's just there, so it's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting you. Don't talk about it, okay?
But I still love Duck Hunt.
Is this the one? Yeah, you actually don't want to take that. Because you get the 1-up if you go the other way. Right. This is, like, a 1-up is 100 coins, so. Anyway, we shouldn't be talking about Super Mario Bros.
We already talked
about
Ice
Climber. This game is great! But Ice Climber, I mean, if we were going to close out Ice Climber, because we didn't really. Yeah. I don't think it deserves much more attention than the fact that, hey, it's a cool idea for Smash Brothers to have two little characters running around.
I think for a near launch title in the States, I think it was still pretty good, and the idea behind it was fun. It's just
its physics just suck, and I think we mentioned before. I think it, like Mock Rider, would do great for a new, brand new remake of trying to get that game to function. Even make it like, I don't care if it's like, oh god,
you can still grab it and be Fire Mario.
That was so weird. I was invisible for so long.
Right.
Yes. No, you turn regular.
Oh,
You're probably thinking of the Super Mario Bros. Deluxe version. I think it did make it turn you into fire if you touched a fire flower.
That's cruel.
See how we can't play Super Mario Brothers in the background and just be like,
no.
But yeah, that was more of an update.
Yes. So what? Hang on.
I think Ice Climber could do for a good 3D remake. I would really like to see that. Same for Mock Rider. Let me dream. I know it won't ever happen. But aside from that, we've got several other... Actually, we have one more PC game. Just kidding. And then before we get to that, I want to mention a game that is an NES classic that I don't have on here, and it is Paperboy.
Yes.
So I don't like Paperboy.
I do. I'm not good at it, but I like it.
I can appreciate it being a classic video game that a lot of people know and recognize. I should have grabbed the fire flower there. I was being an idiot.
Nah, you're good. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, did I die?
Nah. It's like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because remember their
yeah, so their hitboxes are small.
So
I know,
anyway,
anyway.
For those who don't know, Paperboy was originally an arcade game. Came out in '85. You play as the eponymous Paperboy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, go
right.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Reminds me of a big thing we need to cover in this episode.
Yes.
And it is that as we go through this, it's going to become more and more apparent that technically some games came out in Japan in X year and not the current year that we're doing, or maybe it showed up in the States in the year that we're showing, but not in Japan. So whatever. So this is gonna, I think, start becoming apparent when we do 87 in particular, because The Legend of Zelda technically came out in 86, but that was Japan.
Right.
And so for the rest of the world, we're gonna go by their dates instead. So I guess if you imagine this is like if we were holding Game of the Year awards, and this is the West, which, I mean, technically if they were doing Game of the Year awards, they would count. I thought I was in World 1 too. I'm stuck in World 4 now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this takes me to World 5, but whatever. We'll see World 5.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when we start doing the years, keep in mind it is that year for if you own a Nintendo Entertainment System, whatever console, and you live in anywhere that's not Japan.
Right.
Then yes, we're gonna cover games that you should know about.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, Paperboy had existed beforehand.
Yep. And again, you play as the eponymous Paperboy, and all you're supposed to do is just make sure everyone gets their newspapers. You get just by chucking them at full speed right towards their houses.
Right through their windows.
Right through their windows, into their garages, hitting their dogs and cats.
I don't know about that, but like everybody in the neighborhood is out to kill you. But I mean, that's old NES logic.
Yeah. No, everyone wants you dead.
Level.
Yeah,
everybody wants you dead. There's what I find really funny about Paperboy is because it's a classic arcade game.
Right.
How it weirdly transitioned to the N64 in a title we will probably not talk about because I fall for that every time in this level. Whatever.
Anyway,
and the first Hammer Brother, I'm screwed. All right.
You can do it.
Oh, that was my window. Oh, our audio mixing is off. All right, fix the audio, but of course I forgot to do a save state, so here I am back at the beginning again. But yeah, Paperboy, everybody wants to kill you.
Yeah, no, they want to make dang sure that you do not deliver the news.
Right, another thing that's kind of weird about how that game works is it's got this mechanic where you need to pay attention to who is a subscriber to the magazine you're delivering.
Yep.
And then who is not. And if you deliver, because you have to deliver to the ones who are subscribers.
Right.
And then if you deliver it to ones who are not, for some reason it convinces them to become subscribers or something. And then, like, you get more points, obviously, but then it's going to be added to your list. And I think people will leave your subscriber base if they, like, get hit in the windows too much. Like, you obviously miss the paper route and screw it up enough times.
Yeah, and that's where I always fail. I was never able to get the timing down real well, so that neighborhood...
Who did? I mean, it's so hard. The problem is it's isometric.
Yes.
You're throwing... like, you can never really tell where you're throwing it, because on top of it being isometric, you're throwing this and trying to land on a mat. You'd think there's a little bit of physics, but no, it's in an angle, and it's not even like a perfect diagonal.
No, it's an off-center, yeah.
It's so weird, and like you're playing largely in like the bottom right corner. It's really hard to see where you're even going. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's definitely worth talking about, because it's a huge, very popular game.
Oh, it was, for sure.
Arcade games, just in general, really did that back in the day.
Yeah, and that's what, unfortunately, is going to probably be a main focus a lot, especially in the 80s and early 90s. Is going to be a lot of arcade stuff.
Yeah,
because that was where a lot of technical progress and a lot of great games originated.
Right, so you don't have to be limited to the like 100 kilobit size NES cartridge or whatever it was when it was first starting. They were small.
Yep. All right, so moving on from
let's we got a random PC game that Zach wants to talk about.
Yes, King's Quest. King's Quest 2, to be specific. So, once upon a time, adventure stories adventure games were the king of PC games. And one of those...
You see how hard he worked on that joke, guys? You better have laughed. I gotta
try so hard.
You know what I should do is just put in a laugh track. Oh, God. Man, I so sniped it. Oh, got that one. No, I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, get him in midair?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always been able to do that.
I've never, I guess I've never tried to.
But anyway, so...
King's Quest,
King's Quest, right. This was a series created by Sierra. These are the same guys who did stuff like Leisure Suit Larry. They did Police Not the Police Knots, oh my lord. Police Quest.
Yeah, Police Knots was Konami.
Kojima, yeah.
Kojima, was it with Konami?
No.
No, it was Kojima. I knew that much, but
yeah.
That's why I assumed Konami. My bad. Anyway, yeah, so that was a mistake.
That's okay. But no, so the King's Quest series is one of those classic adventure games which really helped to solidify what we kind of know them as today, with the weird, sometimes moon logic puzzles, like you have to go and see this person here, but you got to make sure you use the sticky tar here to put here, or else, you know, you're just dead. And that's unfortunately one of the things that caught on, is a lot of death and save states. There you go.
There you got it.
Was a lot of death states. Like, you could have done something properly, or you thought you did, and then all of a sudden you just end up dead for no good reason.
You know what that sounds like? Another game we talked about on here already was Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail, yeah.
Because that's what it felt like. But, like, I don't want to go back to that again, like, for no reason, but I don't know, I was always caught off guard when someone died. I was like, what? You know? Maybe I was an idiot kid.
Well, I think the thing was it was randomly generated to kind of,
to
let you know, it's like, yeah, this happened in real life, you know, it didn't care. You could die of a broken arm, I guess.
Yeah.
I have had characters die of broken legs and broken arms. I'm like,
oh my god.
Okay. But anyway, but yeah, so there's inventory management, there's a fairy tale story, you play as King Graham, or I think it was actually just Graham the Wanderer. I don't remember if he was the king yet or not.
Could have sworn there was a star here.
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of another level.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of another stage, my dude. But yeah, it was, I don't know. It's just something real charming going back to a lot of those older adventure games. Yeah.
Now I'm screwed. And I slipped.
Well, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, whatever. I'm telling you, this is why I can't beat this game. It's so freaking hard. Where I couldn't. I finally did.
Yes,
this game
you did.
is so hard.
It's
misleadingly hard.
Yeah. Would I say it aged good, or well, rather?
Oh, I was above the platform when I tried to jump, so it wouldn't jump.
Probably not. I would suggest going with like more LucasArts games and stuff, but to see if you're interested in video game history, and especially where adventure games really got their start, I would say try some of the King's Quest games. Have you ever tried any of the King's Quest series or any other Sierra titles?
Are you shocked if I say no?
No. But I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's an important step, and it's solidified a
it
series
is,
in a
yeah.
genre.
And
so.
I'd say we have one more, well, rather two.
Yes.
That are really important that we need to cover before we move on from 85. And that is a combination of games that came with a certain toy that, by itself, I would say, saved the entire video gaming market. I'm dead.
Yeah.
And that is Gyromite and Stack Up.
Yep.
And basically, the crash of 83 was so bad, we touched on it at the beginning of this,
yes.
that it was almost like there was no saving it. And we kind of said at the beginning of this, you almost had to trick people to buy a game console, because the idea of a game console was like, oh god, it's yet another... Think of what they thought they were at the time because of that crash. Like, this is just another expensive piece of garbage with bad quality stuff on it. I don't want this. So instead, Nintendo brilliantly makes this robot toy called Rob in order to change the whole idea of it to not being a game console, but it's a toy, like an interactive toy.
Yep.
And now that it's an interactive toy, now all of a sudden you can get it into those people's homes.
Right.
And it didn't matter that Rob was not fun. It didn't, or it was too slow, didn't work very well. It didn't matter that Gyromite and Stack Up were not really fun to play with Rob. Gyromite, by the way, is actually decently fun to play with just 2 people with different controllers.
Yeah, I've seen people play it that way.
Stack Up is no. But Rob is what was so important about that. And that toy robot, even though his games were not great, one fireball killed both of those. That was
it did.
Really weird. Because it hit both hitboxes.
It did.
What was so amazing about Rob was that you could basically accuse this robot of making it so that video games could even become a thing after that point.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because again, like you said, it's all about branding. Because like you said, anything that was called a video game system, yeah, people would look at it.
Right, you had to call it the family computer system, as we said before, the Famicom, in order to even get it into the Japanese homes, and then to get it into the American homes, you had to bundle it with a toy.
Right, and one of the other things I think that really also helped as well is, just a quick aside, if you kind of look at the NES, the original one, it reminds me, personally at least, an awful lot of a VCR.
Yeah, they were trying to make it look like it would fit onto your shelf.
Yeah, like where you would actually put the VHS tapes in the slot, kind of thing. Yeah. So it was all about branding. And it was all about trying to make a new image for itself, so that way it stood out. And with that seal of quality that came with all these, I know, I saw that.
Screwed now. I can't get it that early.
Just keep running. Just keep going. There you go.
But yeah, so just because I want to point it out on here, Gyromite and Stack Up, and those games are laughably bad.
Yeah.
And Rob is sadly dysfunctional, though I even mentioned to Zach earlier, I think it would be awesome if Nintendo rethought what Rob was and tried to make like a modern Player 2 AI that could play with you.
Yeah.
Maybe even if he does just reading the screen visually is a little much. Just plug him in or make him wireless, Bluetooth, it doesn't matter.
I mean, because we have Labo. I mean, you could try and do something.
It's effectively the same thing.
Yeah. Which would be really cool.
It would be really cool.
I don't know how they'd be able to properly pull it off and do it cheap enough to where you could get it.
That was the struggle with Rob and with a lot of other NES accessories. Like, the Power Glove was so bad because it was based on really expensive technology. So, stuff like, we obviously don't need to go into the history of absolutely everything ever.
It's so bad.
But yeah, if we go to, other years, we're going to really start seeing a lot of cool games that only really got their chance because of that poor robot.
Yep.
Who at the very least gets immortalized in Super Smash Brothers.
Yep.
It's so sad. The life of Rob. Oh my god, I hit you!
Ugh.
Oh my gosh, my flicker matches the screen flicker.
Yes, it does. Oh my god.
That's horrible.
Why.
Yeah, it's why after I get hit, I'm dead. So, just to wrap this up, favorite game of the year, at least from what we've talked about, considered big. Obviously, I'm going to say my favorite game is Super Mario Brothers, but Zach, what about you?
Oh my gosh, I'd probably say something along the lines of maybe actually Oregon Trail or Gradius.
Really?
I actually really enjoyed Gradius.
Gradius is really good.
You can do it. But yeah, no, it's like, it was
Though
just
I will
such a fun
definitely
shooter,
say the most important game of the year would definitely be, I would say it's Rob.
Oh, okay.
Just for saving everything. But this, in terms of, game design, oh yes.
Yeah.
This level of game design was not a thing in, God, anything else. The level of detail.
You got it?
Yeah. Oh God, but I'm trying to talk, but Zach, I need your help. This is an intense level.
I'm sorry, I'm getting too sucked in. No!
I'm at World 8 too.
Oh gosh. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Again,
it's of course this game is a lot of fun, and Rob's games are a lot of not. But still, it's super important knowing what they are and how they got there.
Yep.
And I think moving forward, looking at the other years that we have a chance to see.
Right. You kind of get to see that influence as it goes on.
Right. Not just of Super Mario Brothers in really high quality level games, but the fact that they get to exist because Rob.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it solely saved everything, but
yeah.
And I
don't want to say
sales in the West are very important.
Yeah.
These are all coins, aren't
and
they?
I don't. Yeah, that they were. And I don't want to say he was almost like a sacrificial lamb to kind of get things started, because like you said,
was.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost the poor thing because of it, but
yeah, that's true. There you go. Extra
so, I'm gonna die eventually. That was so pointless. I'm gonna die eventually in here, so I mean we're not gonna play it like until we get to the end of this. But you got any final thoughts on 1985 or like how we want to do this series in general, of this mini series of Hitbox? If you guys have any other ideas, or if there's big 1985 stuff you think that we missed and should have talked about.
Yep, arcade, NES, or otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely let us know. But yeah, so there's oh dang it, I let that. Whatever.
I think you're good.
We should call it there. Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's all we have for you guys this time. Thank you all for tuning into this episode of Hitbox. If you enjoyed the show, you can help us keep it alive by supporting us on Patreon with the links in the show notes and this video's description. For those of you on YouTube, remember to like the video and subscribe for more. And be sure to let us know what you thought of the show and what other topics you'd like to hear us cover in the future. And special thanks to all of our amazing Patreon members. See you.
See ya.
And I'm gonna keep playing Super Mario Bros.
Yep, I figured.